Is it better to live in Vernon or Revelstoke? We're going to look at everything you need to know to make that decision, and we're starting now. I'm Lisa Salt with Remax Vernon Salt Fowler, and sometimes buyers want to know where it is better to live. Is it better to live in Vernon or is it better to live in Revelstoke? Today we're going to look at the pros and cons of both of those cities, but before we do, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video as we're posting new videos every single week. On this channel, we give you the straight goods on Vernon and the whole Okanagan and Revelstoke, our ultimate Four Seasons paradise. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or just curious about the area that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email and just add salt. At the end of this video, I'll tell you how to download our free relocation package, so stick around. So the answer to the question, where is better to live, Revelstoke or Vernon, is it depends on where you stand on these 9 factors. Number 1, let's look at the size. Vernon population is 44,519, which doesn't actually include Coldstream, which is its own municipality, however, still part of Greater Vernon, which is another 11,171 people. So let's say a total of 55,500. The entire North Okanagan area, which includes the outlying rural areas of Armstrong, Enderby, Lumby, etc., it's around 93,425 as of 2021. Revelstoke is a metric ton smaller, 8,275 folks. It's growing though. The city grew 9.4% since 2016. However, when we do the quick math, that means Revelstoke is about 15% the size of Greater Vernon. Both cities are in valleys, although the Okanagan Valley is much wider and it's just bigger and more open feeling than Revelstoke is, which is tucked in between Monashee and the Selkirk mountain ranges, making it feel a lot more narrow. However, it's super pretty. And by the way, Revelstoke is the world's only inland temperate rainforest. Did you know that? I did not know that. The two cities are 1 3/4 hours apart, with Vernon described as the commercial hub city for the North Okanagan, and Revelstoke described as a sedate railway town. Being the larger city also brings us to once again analyzing factor number 2, which is amenities. Vernon has everything, including a ton of traffic lights. Revelstoke has 1 light. I mean, think about that. Obviously, that's pleasant. However, whereas Vernon has most all the amenities, the big box stores, lots of retail, a cactus club, lots of tourist attractions, fairly major hospital, Okanagan College, plus we're only 30 to 40 minutes from Kelowna International Airport and Costco. We have lots of schools, etc. Revelstoke doesn't have much in the way of those sorts of amenities. The hospital is the Queen Victoria Hospital, which opened in 1902, and it's a level 1 community hospital. Obviously, it's much smaller than Vernon Jubilee. And downtown Revelstoke has so many cute little retail stores in that downtown area, with probably the closest you'll find to a major chain is like Save On Foods, and there's Tim Hortons as well, and a Starbucks. And although Vernon is about the attractions, the ski hills, the lakes, hiking, biking, outdoor activities, Revelstoke is nearly all about the natural wonders, like the 2 national parks that are close by, the Mount Revelstoke National Park and the Glacier National Park. There's waterfalls not too far from town, hiking, mountain biking. The railroad also still goes right on the edge of town. Plus there's a really cool railroad museum there as well, hence the name. It's a sedate railroad town. Number 3, let's look at the industry. In Vernon, the major industries are tourism, professional service sector, agriculture, construction, some manufacturing, forest products, things like that. And although Vernon doesn't have a lot of that quote unquote industry, there are some really successful made in Vernon success stories such as Cal Tire, Okanagan Springs Brewery, Tolko Industry. If you can get into any one of those major companies, then you are golden for a job. Now in Revelstoke, the railroad is the big thing here, as we said a couple of times. In fact, Revelstoke was founded in the 1880s when the CPR was built through the area, and at the time, mining was a very important early industry. Then forestry and tourism really rose when the Trans-Canada Highway was constructed through there in 1962, which then linked Revelstoke to the nationwide highway. highway. So that was a big deal at the time. Most notably, the construction of the Revelstoke Suspension Bridge in 1961, which supports the Trans-Canada Highway out of Revelstoke en route to the Shuswap and North Okanagan. That was a big deal. Or I guess from the North Okanagan Shuswap to Revelstoke and onward to Alberta. It is also home to the Revelstoke Dam, which is one of the largest generators of power in all of British Columbia. Number 4, let's look at the water. Revelstoke is located on the banks of the Columbia River. Now, the Columbia River is the largest river in the Pacific Northwest. You can go rafting and canoeing and kayaking. Plus, there is Revelstoke Lake, which is actually an artificial lake on the Columbia River, which was formed by that Revelstoke Dam that we alluded to earlier. It's a reservoir lake, man-made, but it's like 130 kilometers long. You can swim in it, although it's a bit chilly as it's so huge. There's fish in there, lots of fishing. You can boat, you can kayak and canoe. It's capped on the south end by the Revelstoke Dam and on the north end by the Mica Dam. There's camping too around the lake, which is nice. Alternatively, Vernon has those 3 beautiful lakes, Okanagan, Kalamalka, Swan. Those lakes are close in from downtown Vernon. It's literally 8 minutes to every one of those 3 lakes. And they're all beautiful in their own right. Okanagan being 84 miles long and spanning from Vernon all the way to Penticton, and was once the main traffic source taking mail and passengers up the lake to Kelowna and Penticton on the steamships. Next is Kalamalka, smaller lake than Okanagan in Coldstream, which back in the 60s, National Geographic stated Kalamalka was in the top 10 most beautiful lakes in the world. Kalamalka means lake of many colors and is just an outstanding lake in the summer. It's so incredibly beautiful. And then third, we have Swan Lake, which is a more stagnant lake that is smaller and more of a nature reserve area. Now, number 5, here we have a competition, ski hills. Let's have a look at the competing ski hills. Let's look at Silver Star first. From downtown Vernon to Silver Star is around 30 or so minutes, which is a really beautiful thing for skiers, snowboarders, etc. We feel that's close. However, Revelstoke has a Revelstoke Mountain Resort, which is really now the most prominent attraction in Revelstoke. Ski Hill itself is just outside of town, like it's right there. I think Silver Star is close. Well, this mountain is literally 9 minutes from downtown Revelstoke. That is closer. The first ski hill in Revelstoke actually appeared in the 60s up on Mount Mackenzie, which is now the site of the Revelstoke Mountain Resort, which is much newer. In fact, it only opened for the first time for the 2007-2008 ski season. It is known for being not crowded and has 3,121 acres of skiable terrain. It also apparently has the most rideable vertical meters. Now, an interesting little tidbit, Revelstoke holds the record for the snowiest single winter in Canada. 2,447 centimeters, 963 inches of snow fell on Mount Copeland outside of town during the winter of 71-72, which is just over 80 feet of snow. The town site received 779 centimeters or 307 inches. Wow. Saying that, you know what I'm going to say next when we talk about climate. Number 6 is climate. Let's look at the elevation first. Vernon, 380 meters above sea level. Revelstoke is up at 480 meters. The average annual rainfall for Vernon is 333 millimeters versus 649.3 millimeters for Revelstoke. Snowfall in Vernon is 93.3 centimeters versus, get this, 381 centimeters for Revelstoke. So tons more snow in Revelstoke. And as we always say, the sunny Okanagan, hours of sunshine, 2,026 hours per year versus in Revelstoke, 1,582.7 hours of sunshine. Number 7, let's look at house prices. Our analysis is never complete until we look at how much it costs to live in both places. Benchmark single-family house price in the North Okanagan is $764,400 at month-end April 2023. Benchmark price for Revelstoke at end of month April 2023 is $738,500. Much less of a spread than I would have thought, actually. If you look at the townhouses, North Okanagan, $575,600, and Revelstoke is $522,200. So really, not much of a difference. I was surprised. Now, number 8, let's look at fun stuff to do. For Vernon, we always talk about Funtastic, which is our annual slow pitch tournament, music festival, and all-around drunk fest. It's on the Canada Day long weekend, and close by in Armstrong we have the IPE, the Interior Provincial Exhibition with the rodeo and rides, etc. There really are so many things going on in Vernon. Being a bigger city, there's just a ton to do in every season. There's arts and culture and the Performing Arts Center. Always something going on. Plus all the regular outdoor stuff like hiking and biking and water skiing and swimming, etc., etc. Now, Revelstoke, the big thing is skiing, obviously. They also have internationally award-winning spirits and beers with 2 local breweries and 1 distillery. There's mountain biking, hiking, backpacking. Backcountry camping is big. Stargazing is a big activity because there's no light pollution there out on Highway 23. Luna Arts Festival is a big deal for Revelstoke as well. Another activity is bear avoidance. It is prime black bear and grizzly bear habitat, so that's fun. Revelstoke has Mount Revelstoke National Park that was established as Canada's 8th national park in 1914. Has really beautiful displays of wildflowers in the summer too. Both places have lots of outdoor fun stuff, although Revelstoke really focuses on that outdoor activity as the major form of entertainment, that supernatural BC type of thing. Now you know everything about both places. Well, maybe not everything, however, hopefully you have enough of the high points to make a decision. You, of course, have to decide for yourself based on your criteria. If you need a JOB, for example, that might be your criteria. Both communities have many raving fans and you really can't go wrong with either one of them. However, I'm from Vernon, love Vernon, and if you'd like to download our free Vernon relocation package, you can learn more about what the Okanagan has to offer. And if Revelstoke is your preference, no problem, we will hook you up. VernonRelocation.com.